What ignorant thing did a retail employee say that made you walk out of the store without buying a single item? 1. Browsing at a Victoria's Secret store one day, and a young black woman came in. Let's just say she was full-sized. After mostly being ignored by the young employees, she finally managed to get the attention of one of them. Told them she wanted to look at bras, but wasn't sure what size she'd need. One of these size 1 waifs looked her up and down disdainfully and very loudly declared, "Oh, we don't sell anything big enough to fit you. There's a Walmart across the road." I watched tears of mortification well up in the customer's eyes as she made her way to the door. I turned to the 2 employees and said, "You should be ashamed of yourselves for being so cruel. It costs nothing to be kind and tactful. Maybe you don't have anything in her size, but if you'd treated her with respect she might have come back sometime and bought gifts for others. Anyway, your lack of respect just cost you my business." And I left and have never set foot in that store again. 2. My 19-year-old daughter was working construction and needed a truck. We went to a Ford dealership and it was 5 minutes before any of the salespeople approached us. A middle-aged man. My daughter had done research and knew what types of features she wanted. The conversation was a bit odd as whenever my daughter asked a question, he answered to me. It went something like this: "Daughter, which engine does this one have? 4 or 6 cylinder? Salesman, this one has leather seats. D, I need to know the engine size and horsepower. S, and it includes the upgraded sound system. D, I really need to know about the engine. Also the towing capacity. S, the back seat isn't big enough for baby car seats. A young lady like you should be looking at a nice family car. D, I work construction. You effing idiot. What the H is the engine size and towing capacity? S, I guess I could look that up. D, I guess I can check out the Dodge dealer across the street." Unfortunately, we got nearly the identical treatment there. She ended up buying a Nissan pickup truck. And to my embarrassment, and a little bit of pride tbh, she drove her new Nissan next door to the Ford dealership where the salesman was talking to another woman. She shouted out the window, "You screwed up big time, you misogynistic a-hole. Lady, don't buy anything from that jacka. He's a total effing moron." The lady smiled. I kinda noticed. Did they treat you better at Nissan? She was walking off the lot towards the Nissan dealership as we left. 3. The cashier had just rung up my purchases to the tune of $337.43 and I was about to hand her my credit card when there was a crash. A large stack of plastic hangers lay scattered about the floor and on top of a crying toddler. Mortified, his mother ran to her child, a few feet away, profusely apologizing the entire time. She swooped him up with one arm and set about putting things back in order with the other. The woman at the register was obviously perturbed, but I couldn't believe she would stoop to spew a venomous remark and cap it with the worst of racial slurs. I glared at her until she looked away. "Really? Really?" I asked incredulously in disgust, but walked away over to the mother. "Here, honey, let me help you. That little bruiser has to be heavy," I said, taking the hangers from her hand and laying them on the table. "Stay here, I'll grab the rest." In a jiff it was done. "Now how about a cup of coffee, my treat? I can't stand to be in here a minute longer." "Yes ma'am, that would be nice. Thank you for being so kind," the young black woman said, smiling. "Miss, your sale," the cashier called to me as we headed to the door. "You made it as unwanted as your derogatory statement. But, my friend, and I got all of the hangers back on the table, so you can start putting all of those clothes back on the rack. Have fun."